Let's start from the definition. So our chapter is summation of series. Summation of series. So what is a series? Series, let's take an example. Even number series. We can continue this even number series. Then when we take the sum of, let's say 3 terms, I'm going to take the sum of first 3 terms of this series, of this progression. This is a progression, or sometimes we call that sequence. When we take the sum and write like this, then this is called series. Series is denoted by this sigma symbol. Sigma symbol. This is a Greek letter. Then either side of this sigma letter, we have to put these things. R equals 1 to 3. R is the number of the term. R equal 1 to 3 means I'm going to take the sum of first 3 terms of this progression. First term to third term. That is the idea of this notation, sigma notation. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have to write general term. This is called general term or common term of the progression that we have selected after this notation. So this is the introduction part. Sigma notation is there. Then we have to write the starting term and finishing term and the general term of the progression. Then how to find general term of these kind of progression? I think that part you may have in O levels. O levels, so I think maybe in small grades. In local syllabus, we have that in grade 7, 8. So it is very easy to obtain. Let's consider the same progression 2, 4, 6, 8. How to find the general term? First, we have to consider the difference between 2 consecutive terms. Difference between 2 consecutive terms. So what is the difference? 2. Subtract 2 from 4. Then you have to put R. Sometimes they put N. But in this chapter, in series we have to put R. First take the common difference, then multiply that common difference by R. Then we can substitute 1 to this R and see whether we get the first term. If I want the first term, I have to substitute 1. If I want second term, I have to substitute 2. So it is easy to just substitute 1 and see, and we get 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Then check for the second term as well. 2 times 2, 4. That means what we have written here, 2R, is the general term for this particular series. If you didn't get, I will take another example. This is the progression 3, 5, 7, 9. The step is to take the common difference. Common difference is once again 2. Then immediately multiply that by R. 2 times R. Then we have to check this answer for the first term. For the first term, I am going to substitute 1. And what is the result? 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. But our first term is 3. This is not the first term we have. Then what is the change that we have to do to make
Plus
2
1.
Plus 1? You have to add 1. Then we get first term. Then what is the general term for this particular progression? 2r plus 1.
2r plus 1.
Yeah, because of this. Okay. Then moving to an advanced example like this. Let's say we have 1 square, 4 square, 7 square. So this is not a progression because of this addition mark. Now this is a series. Then how to find the general term or the common difference for this? How to find the common
3.
difference? Yes.
3.
Yeah. Neglect or avoid the square you have. Just consider the numbers 1, 4, 7. Common difference is 3. Then multiply that by r. You have 3r. Then substitute 1 here. 3 times 1 is 3. We should have 1. That means we have to subtract 2 from our answer 3. Then common term, general term without the square is just 3r minus 2. Since we have a square in each and every term, I have to put square. That's it. Understood?
Yes.
Then what about this kind of a series? It should be a dot, not a comma, dot. 9. For this particular series, we have to consider numerator and denominator separately. In numerator, we have 1. And this entire series is having its numerator 1. No change for that. Then take the denominator. In denominator, we have 2 separate digits. Then we have to consider first digit for the first term in the denominator, then first digit at the denominator for the second term, and first digit at the denominator for the third term. So you have to consider these first. 5, 6, 7. Then when we consider 5, 6, 7, what is the difference? It is 1. You have to multiply that by n. Then you have 1 n. Now that is n. To have 5 as our first step, I have to add 4. Because when we substitute 1, we get 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Then what is the general term for that for this digit? N plus
4.
4. Yes. Into, then for the second digit. Second digit is 3, 6, 9. It is easy. What is the general term? Just 3n, 3r. I made a mistake. We can't use n. It should be r. Okay. R plus 4. This is 3r. We'll write it again. R plus 4 into 3r. This is the general term for this particular series. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You can take a screenshot. Later complete the note.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now under 3.1, first subsection, the topic is the summation of formulae. There we have 3 theorems to learn. There are 3 theorems in that particular part. Topic is the summation formulae. Now you know how to obtain the general term or the common term of a particular series. Now we are going to go further and see how we are going to apply our sigma notation for these general terms. Let's say we have this series 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and continue. So this is the series. Now we are going to write an expression for this series using sigma notation. So this series continues to the nth term. The last term of the series that you will be given is n. If not, we will mention. Sometimes it can go up to 2n, n plus 1 like that. Generally it is n. Then starting term is 1. So we have to put r equals 1. The meaning is sum of terms sigma from first term to nth term. Then you have to write the general term. Now what is the general term for this particular series? It is just r. You have to take the difference between 2 consecutive terms, that is 1. Multiply that by r. It is just r. Okay, no need to add or subtract anything. So this is the notation we have to use for this particular series. Now the theorem is sigma r equals 1 to n r is having a sum, that is n over 2 into n plus 1. This is the theorem. When we have a series with the general term r, the sum of that series from sum of the series for the first n terms is this n over 2 into n plus 1, because n is unknown. Okay, let's say our n is 10. That means we have first 10 terms of this particular series, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to 10. Directly we can obtain this sum from this theorem. We have to use the theorem sigma r equals 1 to n. The general term is r. From the theorem you know that is n by 2 into n plus 1. Now substitute n equals 10. That is 10 over 2 into 11, which is 55. Okay, but these are I think you have done these type of calculations not with the summation mark, with different equations, different formulas like this in your O-level class. You had these, right?
Not for all of us.
Now you are having.
For A-levels, we are having the equation.
Okay, but series lesson in further maths, nothing to do with this, huh? Don't worry. Okay, now this is a theorem. Now I'm going to prove this theorem. Proof is important. Proof of the first theorem, r equals 1 to n, r is equivalent to n by 2, n plus 1. Okay, first step is consider r plus 1 whole thing square. What is the expansion of r plus 1 whole thing square? R square plus 2r plus 1. You have to keep this in mind. For this theorem, for the proof of this theorem, you have to use this equation. And you have to rearrange 2r plus 1 is equivalent to r plus 1 whole thing square, r plus 1 whole thing square minus r square. You have to take this r square here. Okay. Then this is an equation. That means we can substitute any value for r. I am going to substitute r equals 1. Then what will happen to this term? It becomes 2 times 1. Okay, don't multiply and write the final answer. Just write 2 into 1. Don't write 2. Plus 1, no change for that term. Then what will happen to this bracket? Now here you have to substitute and write the answer as a square. When r becomes 1, 1 plus 1 square is 2 square. Substitute 1 here, this becomes 1 square. Now substitute r equals 2, because we have to take the sum from 1 to n. I am going to substitute r equal 1 to n. This becomes 2 times 2 plus 1. Then 2 plus 1 becomes 3. 3 square minus 2 square. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
That I am just substituting these values. Okay. Then when r equals 3, this becomes 2 times 3 plus 1 equals 3 plus 1, 4. 4 square minus 3 square. Okay. Now no need to continue. We can see clearly what are the terms we get. Then put few dots like this. But you have to substitute up to n. R equals n. Then we have substituted 3 terms from top and 2 terms from bottom. Normally r equals 1, r equals 2, r equals n minus 1, r equals n. Those 4 steps are enough. As this is the first example, I substituted third one as well. So our final term is n. Then what is the what is this term before n? It should be n minus 1. 1 less than n minus 1. Then when we substitute n minus 1 here, what will happen? 2 times n minus 1. Instead of r, I have to substitute n minus 1. Plus 1, no change. Then now substitute n minus 1 for r. N minus 1 plus 1. Plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled. We are left with n. Then n square. Here we have n square minus, substitute n minus 1 for r. That is n minus 1 square. Now substitute r equal n. Here we have 2 times n plus 1. N plus 1 whole thing square minus n square. Those are the terms. Now we are going to take the sum, because this is summation. Now from 1 to n, I am going to take the sum. That is denoted in this manner. From first term to nth term, we are going to take the sum. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in each and every term, here we have 2. So 2 is common. Is kind of a common factor for all the terms. So I have written 2 as a common factor. Then what are the terms we have here after the dot? 1, 2, 3, 4, like that up to n. That is from 1 to n. 1 to n. I have to take the sum. 1 to n, I have to take the sum. Then what is the notation we can use for that? Sigma. Sum is sigma from 1 to n. General term is r. Okay, no need to think like that because the proof is for this theorem. So definitely we must have this notation here. Okay. Then here we have plus 1, 1, 1. We have how many ones? From 1 to n. How many terms are there? From 1 to n? N. Yes, n. Let's say we have 1 to 10. We have 10. Then 1 to k. Sum is k. 1 to n. Sum is n. That means we have 10 ones. Okay, here we have k times n. K times 1. Here n times 1. Therefore sum is n. Now we have to add this right hand side. Then can you see here we have plus 2 square. Here minus 2 square. So when we add these two, they get cancelled. Okay. Then here plus 3 square minus 3 square. So both these terms get cancelled. Can you see a pattern? First term in this step get cancelled with second term in the following step. First term here get cancelled with second term of the following step. Similarly, 4 square will get cancelled with this term if I have written the fourth step. Here we have plus n square. Next step we have minus n square. So when I add these two, I can cancel n square with n square. Similarly, this will be cancelled with this term. So you have to identify the pattern. Sometimes they get cancelled in this manner. Okay, this direction, here this direction. Then these two terms here, n plus 1 square and minus n square, they are remaining. They are not cancelled. Now when we take the sum, all these terms get cancelled, but we are having n plus 1 whole thing square minus 1 whole thing square, that is 1. Now you can simplify this. Here we have 2 times sigma r equals 1 to n r. Expand. Take plus n here, minus n. These two get cancelled. Then sigma r equals 1 to n r is n square plus 2n divided by 2. We have to divide this 2. Here we have a common factor n. Take that out. This is the answer. N into n plus 1 divided by 2. So this is the proof. You should know this proof. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then take a picture.
Okay.
Okay. Now you should keep these theorems in mind. You have to directly apply that for the questions. Now I'm going to do the first example you have in the textbook. That is 10 minutes.
10 minutes only.
This is
Yes,
3
sir.
point.
For the theorem,
Okay.
the method you showed was the non-cal. For some reason, we have a key in the cal. Do you know how to use that?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
In the calculator, there's a key for that theorem. The theorem says n sigma r equals 1. That
R equals 1.
the sigma.
Sigma
N-
notation is there in the calculator. Yes.
That notation is there. Do you know how to use that?
Some problems are given in the exercise also. I saw some exercises are there, you can use the calculator. Some are there, you can't use the calculator. But in the examples, that means the examples they have given in your textbook, they haven't used the calculator. They have used the theorem, this answer, n by 2 into n plus 1. Okay. I think you can't use the calculator for those. Okay, we'll discuss some of the past paper questions after the session, during the next session. Like that. Okay. We have very small simplifications, no need to worry. They are very small. Okay, the question is, find sigma r equals 1 to n 4r plus 1. This is the general term. Can you see? 4r plus 1. Find this. Hence, the second part, determine the value of sigma r equals 17 to 48 4r plus 1. So let's do this part. You have to calculate this. Start from the notation. 4r plus 1. Now we can separate this general term like this. These are the features of sigma notation. Here we can separate 4r and 1 and write it in this manner. Plus, again, sigma r equals 1 to n 1. From positive negative signs, you can separately write two different sigma notations like this. Then second feature, if you have coefficients for r term, you can take that coefficient out and write that in front of the notation like this. Okay, understood? Hello, did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Then 4 times, what is this? Sigma r equals 1 to n r. This is our first theorem. What was the answer? N by 2 into n plus 1. This is from the theorem, direct application. Plus, then what is r equals 1 to n 1? Sum of first n terms, general term is 1. Then what is the sum?
1.
No, from 1 to n we have n ones. N, yes. Now simplify. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, multiply 2n square plus 2n plus n. Answer is 2n square plus 3n. This is the answer. Okay, got it?
Okay, sir.
Okay, then second part. Now sigma notation is different. Here we have r equal 17 to 48. Before going to this one, let's say we had to find sigma r equals 1 to 5. 1 to 5, same common term, 4r plus 1. Okay. Then we know its sum because we calculated it. We have already calculated that. What was it? 2n square plus 3n. But this is for the first n terms from 1 to n. Now we have 1 to 5. That means I have to replace my n by 5. I have to substitute 5. That is 2 into 5 square plus 3 into 5. You can simplify and get the answer. If we had our sigma notation starting from 1. Okay, but here we have 17 to 48. That is done like this. Let's say we had r equals 3 to 5. We had a general term. Starting number is 3, finishing number 5. We can write this way. R equals 1 to 5, same general term, minus sigma r equals 1 to 3, same general term. Here what is done? We had our series 1 to 5, from 1 to 5. Okay, but they asked for the sum of these three terms, 3 to 5. In order to calculate this from 3 to 5, I have to take the entire sum from 1 to 5 and subtract this sum, 1 to 2. Because sigma notation is applicable from 1 to another number. So we have to start from 1. If they have given the middle part like this, I have to take the entire sum from 1 to this term and subtract this irrelevant section. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means I can write this as r equal 1 to 48, 4r plus 1. You can calculate this. This is the answer. You have to substitute 48 for n. Okay. In this manner you can find. Then since they are asking from 17, you have to subtract this from 1 to 17, 4r plus 1. For the same general term, you have to take the sum from 1 to 48 and you have to subtract 1 to 17 because 1 to 17 is missing. You can use the calculator for this and this. Okay. The sum is 2n square plus 3n. Instead of n, I have to substitute 48. That is 48 square plus 3 into 48. Minus here 2 into n square. N is 17. 17 square plus 3 into 17. Use the calculator, get the answer. You will get